You know what it is, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
You know who it is, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Odie, Maurice, Odie, Maurice.
Maurice, Odie, Maurice, Odie.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy, Black and Snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
What up, and welcome to another edition of the Black and Snerdy podcast, hosted by a couple of sexy nerds, bringing you pop culture, news, a bunch of cool shit. So thank you for joining us. I, of course, am Maurice, a.k.a. Kid Licorish.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned snerds on this podcast. How have you been? It's been a while since we've done a podcast proper. Yes, it's been a while. It's been... Oh, I don't have that drop.
First of all, it's been a very wonderful, great time. I went to see Beyoncé. Mm-hmm. It was, I'm going to have to tell you about this Beyoncé story, but we need time for that. I went to Germany to see Beyoncé. I got to see my cousins. Mm-hmm. Alles gut. Well, no, that means happy birthday. Sorry. Hallo and guten Morgen to those in Cologne. It was very fun. Mm-hmm. And I got to do some cool things for Juneteenth. I've been having a great few weeks. It's been a great start to, the 30s.
I mean, you were in your 30s already.
Yeah, but
it's
the
not
30s...
starting. If anything, it's...
No,
what is
this
it, mid?
is...
That's the start of the mid-30s.
I am removing the years that we were forced into a pandemic.
I mean, you can remove them all you want. It doesn't change what's on your driver's license and your birth certificate.
I'm just starting the 30s.
I don't think that's what your knees are saying.
My knees are great.
Chop off your leg.
My
and
knees
count
are
the
great.
rings.
Okay? My knees are lovely. Okay, I have Meg Thee Stallion knees.
All right. For
Okay.
real?
Yep.
Do you think that, or
I know that.
Okay, look.
All right.
We all have indulged in self-deception before.
If we go to a party right now, out of the two of us, who's going to be using their knees?
Well, that's because you have the fucking equivalent of the energy of a golden retriever. So that doesn't mean anything. Like you love parties. Like you're fueled by parties. That's what's in your fucking veins.
But you can see at these parties, I have Meg Thee Stallion knees. Okay?
I don't buy it. I don't believe it. We don't believe you. You need more people.
Whatever. The people out there know. They can testify. Go right in. Tweet us. Comment on here. Facebook us. We actually need new Facebook comments because we've only been getting comments on one post.
Yeah. And they have been very specific.
The anti-gay, anti-black trolls have found us.
I think it's primarily anti-gay.
But like some of them.
I mean, the anti-gay. Look, man, this is what I will say about the anti-gay community. You love your fucking scriptures.
Yeah. They do.
You love your.
But they were.
There are other books out there that exist.
You know what? I'm going to send you the files of their voicemail that they sent me, so that you can put it onto the podcast, so we can shame them publicly. Well, I might read out their.
Are you still getting them?
Well, no, I blocked their number, but they kept calling me.
It's the same one?
There was two different ones.
Okay.
Called me. Hey. So on the Pride post that we put, and I think I boosted it like I usually do, and we've been getting hundreds and hundreds of anti-Pride posts, and it's been, it's been very annoying.
I would say dozens and dozens. We haven't even reached 100 comments.
We have. There's more than 100 on there. If
Are
you
you
look,
sure?
wait, if you look at the totality of the comments,
There's a shit ton of reactions.
There was 109 the last I checked. We only have 2 visible because there was only 2 people that gave us
Yeah.
non-terrible messages. But yeah, they've been. I mean, I guess, but you know what the thing is? These people are idiots because you only get shown. I have very targeted ads.
Mm-hmm.
You're only getting my ads if you are liking something that I am looking at or looking for. So clearly you're looking for whatever is showing up in this targeted ad on your page. And perhaps you stop looking at whatever gay
It's
porn.
108 reactions.
Yeah, but there's also hidden comments. You gotta look at it from the other way. Oh, and you get that one out.
Oh, 119 comments.
Told you.
Okay. Well, we blocked all of them. So they're all blocked. No one can see them. No one's reading your Timothy 8. First off, why is there some... No, I'm not getting into that. I don't want to... This is not that show. This is not that kind of show where I'm going to lambast people for believing what they believe. Hey, everybody... This is a free country. Everybody is free to believe whatever you believe. If you want to read a book, sure, that's great. If you want to live your life by that book, sure, why not? If you want to impose your biblic quotes onto my page, you're getting blocked. Simple as that. You're getting blocked. You and your posts are getting blocked so no one can see it. That one weird photo of, like, you wiping your ass with the rainbow flag, like, I've seen it, and it's been blocked. Like, it's all been blocked, alright? Corinthians. I don't give a fuck what Corinthians says, alright? There's a lot of stuff that book says, alright?
Oh, God. But you know what's, like, most hilarious thing to me is that, like, I went to school with these people. Mm-hmm. And every day was... People ask me why I'm so, like... Why is everything so political with you? And I was like, you don't know what I... Literally every day with these people. Shouting these things at you. And feeling so angry. You'd think that I'm angry now. I was so angry. Because every day.
I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see
you have to,
a young, angry... Oh, that doesn't... Oh, those words don't even seem like they would go into the same sentence.
Well, the thing is, that I was angry, but my anger does not come out as, like, rebellious. Well, my rebellious thing was I used to wear knee-highs with skulls on them. That was because you weren't supposed to wear any of them, like, multicolored ones. But I was, like, in skulls, added a little oomph. But
fucking suicide girl over here.
And so, but no, like in just class, I would be having these long drawn out debates. Ask James if I made like 10th grade history at Upper Room for this debate about whether America was racist or not, because
Yes, it is.
So
It's
this
a racist
kid.
place.
Josh asked about whether or not why America hadn't had a black president. I said because America is racist. Mr. Pasalacqua decided this was not. He said no, it's not, and then Josh said no, it wasn't. I said yes, it was. Mr. Pasalacqua said this was gonna be like this was his.
Be giving out this teacher's name.
This has happened. What? This is not defamation. It's a thing that happened.
We're about to dox this nigga.
We're not doxing him.
We've said his name, his
No,
last
we
name, and it's a
didn't.
fairly unique ass name.
Anyway, Mr. P.
Mr. P.
Yeah. He decided this was about to be his
Good luck
moment.
spelling it, internet.
This was gonna
I'm
be,
trying to spell it in my head. I absolutely cannot.
This was
It's
going to be his moment.
Maybe a Q in there
of
somewhere.
like teaching, right? So then it turned into this whole 2-day debate going back and forth about like all the ways that America was racist, because I brought up the Black Panthers, and then Josh said the Black Panthers were racist, and then that was a whole nother thing. It was just, it was a constant time of having to debate one's life away.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why, I loved Howard so much. Because Howard is always a debate. Anyway, it's time for us to do our Q&A with M&O.
Yes. Agreed.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Hit me with those questions.
Here, you do this one.
Okay. What's your best story to tell at a dinner party? Well, it used to be how I was beefing with Michael K. Williams. I had a one-sided beef with Michael K. Williams because I guess he was doing... so I used to work in Williamsburg over near Kent Ave, like all the way near the water. And right down the block from me is a Dwayne Reed. And that... Also right down the block was the Genius headquarters, where, Genius, the website that annotates all the lyrics and shit, tells you like, ooh, if ever you needed to know what the deeper meaning behind Bad and Bougie is, they have it. They will tell you, and they will annotate it. I only had a certain amount of time on my lunch break. So I went to the Dwayne Reed to get some sushi. I get in line. It's a bit of a long line. And who should, I'm waiting for the line to continue to go down. And meanwhile, the clock is ticking on my break. Who walks in after me? And who gets spotted by the cashier? And it has this whole long fan out oh my god, you're Omar from The Wire. And I'm just and they're having a whole 10-minute conversation back and forth. Meanwhile, now I'm the only motherfucker in the line because this happened. And he cuts in front of me and then he fucking bounces. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And mind you, I'm a fan of The Wire. I'm from Baltimore, so it has to be that way. And I find myself just sitting there with less time, shoveling fucking food in my mouth on my lunch break, just saying, fuck Michael K. Williams. Now, this obviously happened before he passed away, so...
Years and years before.
So, rest in power to him. My only regret is that he left this earth before he could make things right with me. But that's my best dinner story. Yeah, it is. How Michael K. Williams fucked up my lunch break.
And...
with his presence.
Yeah. But we miss his presence. I wish he was still here to be fucking up your lunch breaks.
No, he's in a better place. That's what I will say. I will say he's in a better place. My hope is that there is some self-awareness on the astral plane to maybe not cut in line. I hope maybe the other side doesn't have... Well, there's so many celebrities on the other side at this point. You have to... I imagine that nobody... Maybe there's the initial, starstruck, but then after a while, you're like, okay, fucking Biggie. He's over there.
I feel like they were
at lunch.
starstruck when Tina Turner came up there. I feel like they were excited. What was the fucking Queen's coming up here?
Yeah.
I feel like that's few and far between, though.
But you know what? It's a lot like being at a resort. Everything is amazing, but then after a while, it just becomes mid, and then suddenly you're, hanging out with fucking Einstein, playing spades in the afterlife, and he's fucking cutting, he's reneging, and you're like, what the fuck, Einstein? You and your theory of relativity, well, relative these nuts.
Anyway, I'm gonna answer the question. So I feel like I always have some usual story that's from my travels that becomes my new favorite dinner time story. But now I have an amazing one that was like a birthday present. So I said that I went to Germany to go see Beyonce in Cologne.
We're gonna find a way to shove this in there. Regardless of the question, did we even need a question for you to tell this fucking story?
We did not. So, I'm at the Beyonce concert, and it's in Germany. We're in this like stadium, and our seats were like second tier seats, like on the steps. Before we go over there, I'm like, I need a drink because if I'm gonna climb up all these fucking steps to get to our seats, I need to be hydrated.
Describe what you're wearing.
I'm wearing a alien superstar inspired outfit. It is a silver corset top with a silver skirt above the knee. And obviously my hair is blonde. I have it in 2 little space buns and the rest is out. I kind of looked like, I looked like one of her background dancers in one of their outfits, where they were all in blonde. They had all this blonde hair and these silver outfits. So clearly, I was supposed to be there. This German-Nigerian guy runs up to me.
Anybody who could find the Nigerians, it's this one.
First of all, Nigerians find each other. There's a little tracking beacon. But at first, he's like, oh my God, your outfit is so cute. Are you German? And I was like, no, I'm not, but my cousin is. And so he's like, we're talking, we take a picture, it's cute. And so then when we go through, we're talking about going back to our seats, and he's like, oh, where are you sitting? And I'm like, oh, we're going to be like on this little second level, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, do you want to go to the Golden Circle? And I was like, what's the Golden Circle? And he's like, it's right in the stage. So I look at my cousin, and we're like, And now, sometimes you would think, I think that there's a stereotype that Germans are like super stuffy, but my cousin is always about that life. Now, like, she's not going to do anything necessarily too crazy, but she's not afraid to like take a chance, right? Which is why we're like cousin besties. And so we look at each other and we're like, we're going to do this thing. And because at the end of the day, we were like, the worst thing that could happen is they say no and they don't let us in. And then we still have our other seats. So he's like, I'm going to give you my phone and you're just going to walk to the guy and swipe. And let me tell you, he gave us his phone. I walked there with the confidence that only Beyonce gives you. I was like, asking the people which one, how to get through. They look, go, yeah, whatever. Gave us back the phone, wristband us up, which means now we can go in and out. And then we were literally where the risers were, is where we were, right where the literal stage, barricade people, we were the first people there. And we could see her face clearly. And then the Megatron was looking gorgeous. Blue Ivy was staring at me. And the fact that I got a picture on Beyonce's Instagram for her Baygood nonprofit account. Okay? I am on there. You will see me. You will find me. And I say that every year I get closer to a Parkwood Entertainment NDA. And let me tell you, I would not disclose nothing. Okay? You don't have to worry about me. I will be zip zap locked away with a key. Because I love Beyonce and I would do anything for her. So I'm looking forward to more time getting closer. I need to go to another concert and I'm looking. I'm really looking. I just need to see her in America. Because the Germans, they were giving, but they weren't giving what they could have been give. So, that's my new story. That how Beyonce blessed me on my birthday with front row tickets to see her. And shout out to my being a Niger babe, because my people are always looking out. That's my new one. All right, question. If you could take the family back to visit any ancestor, which one would you choose?
I think you should answer this one. I don't really have the greatest sense of my ancestors, quite frankly. Not a lot of stories being told. My dad and my aunt would probably be the best historians, but I think at a certain point they stopped telling certain stories. So, I don't really have a great sense of the ancestors. I guess this causes me some introspection to maybe ask next time I'm around them. But seeing as how you leave offerings to your ancestors, I'm pretty sure you have at least one in mind.
I do. Ancestor veneration is my thing.
Yes.
You know, because the ancestors are always with us. We have so many of them, and we can just honor them with a little bit of this and that, you know. So I think that I would want to visit my great aunt Mary or May. She was a badass woman who, even though at the time, so my great grandfather who had been enslaved, his father was the plantation owner, and when he freed him, he left him with the great gift in the will of his bullwhip, which he used on the plantation that he then purchased, or the land that he had and was like the farm that he was working. He used that on his 23 children, which was
23 children?
Yeah, she had 23 freaking children.
God, and that's
some of the
probably the ones that survived.
But some of those children were the children of his father / enslaver. So,
ooh,
he had 23 children, but some of them were his siblings. But I would say that
America has a problem.
As Beyoncé so lovely put it. But the thing is, also, one thing that he could also be an ancestor I would want to talk to, because even though he also was on some bullshit in ways, he's still I have a picture of him on this t-shirt from a really old family reunion he went to, and he is holding a book. And this picture was taken while he was enslaved. So the fact that he was holding a book was a fuck you, you know? And I feel I always just see that picture and be this is a rebellious thing. Because the way that my family, my family would talk about it, it was this man was such a fucking rebel.
Odie.
Yeah.
You hoarding books is not the same sort of FU as your great ancestor. It's one thing to be a slave in America during slavery times, holding a book for a photo as a protest. And then it's an entirely another thing to just...
It is honoring my ancestors. The fact that I have all these books.
Billions of books.
And I can, at any point, tap into
small
them. Okay?
New York, Brooklyn apartment.
The fact that I can have all these
so
books
much space
is an act of rebellion. But I meant that he was saying, fuck you to the system. You don't want me to read, but I can read anyway because I can do it because I can and I will. Fuck you thought. I feel that's a very good common thread for my Mary, who stabbed a white man for trying to touch her, or for touching her, causes the family to scuttle up to New York to escape the stuff. I mean, that's she was a badass. She was 4'11" or something, little tiny woman. But she was fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to assault me and then get away with it.
Okay.
I feel like that's a, knuck if you buck type energy that you need in this world.
Right.
All right.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. Those are all for the questions.
Yeah.
Are we
All
ready
right.
to get into the pop culture section?
Yes, let's move into the pop culture section.
All right. So, I told... Are you doing another little... I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
What are you doing?
I couldn't see the time because the computer was blocking it. I could see it, but I like seeing the running, so I know while I'm talking how long I'm going for.
Okay, that explains the first half of this podcast.
Oh, shush. All right. Whatever. Anyway. So, again, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
It is still Pride for maybe about a week and a half or so from now. And so
I just remember we were at that open mic and that one dude who was like, it's gay nigga month.
Oh, God. Well, some of us are gay niggas. So
oh man. I thought there was going to be a follow-up to that, but there just wasn't.
There was not.
It was an aside.
Honestly, I didn't know what to, I was like, I don't know what to think about this. I was befuddled, but it also was funny. So our next Pride shout out is going to Christian Cooper, who, if you don't remember him, he was the black man in Central Park that got accosted by a Karen after he told her to stop allowing her dog off the leash in the park where they were because it was scaring the birds and could be a danger to the habitat, etc., etc. And she tried to call the police and have him arrested, and we found out that clearly that it wasn't what she was talking about. But anyway, he got a show on National Geographic, which is called
Extraordinary Birder with Christian Cooper.
Yes.
You don't even have the whole article up, and I found it.
Why are you trying to call me out?
Why
are you trying to call me out?
I am simply pointing out that you were doing this, scrolling through the one paragraph,
and I was trying to make
the read full article.
I was trying to make it open up because my internet is not working, and I was having difficulty.
It's my internet, for the record. So.
Okay, your internet is not working. Okay, and I was trying to refresh the page so I could make sure I had all the information I needed at once. Anyway, shout out to him, and we are happy to see that he is doing better than the stupid idiot.
Nobody knows where she is.
I don't even know her name.
I don't care for knowing her name. I'm not even gonna look it up. I don't need to know.
But shout out to him, and we wish him all the luck on his show. I hope that, I think looking at birds is cool. I like seeing them. Today I saw a bluebird when I was walking Brooklyn, and it's always fun. I'm never gonna be like a birder, sitting in the park and just looking for them, because I just feel like that's a certain level of. I'm only gonna enjoy that for about 30 minutes, but
30 minutes seems too long.
Yeah, it'll be a cool thing. I enjoy sitting in the park.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting down in the park and I see birds, that's fun to me. But I wouldn't consider myself a birder if I'm just I'm not gonna go to the park for the sake of looking.
Birder, she wrote. Maybe that'll be the episode title. I don't have a pen and I don't have my notebook to write that down.
Well, can you get into the Instagram? What?
Why?
You're not in there.
Yeah, my phone is dying.
Oh, well then unplug it.
Don't.
It's fine. Here. Hey, Shaq, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I love it when our bison join us for a little bit of the pod. All right, so we have an update. Jonathan Majors and his girlfriend
Megan Good.
Were holding hands at his trial date of August 3rd. That's been a whole thing.
August 3rd.
Yeah, he
How are they doing that on the future day?
Sorry. You are correct.
Yes.
They set a trial date for August 3rd, is what I meant to say.
Yes.
But he went there, of course. They have continued to plead not guilty. And he continues to come to court looking like a Civil War veteran.
Yes. Yes.
It's very interesting. I don't know what's happening with this, but it's. I don't know why Megan Good is like, I'm gonna stick beside him.
Stand by your man.
I think
She believes in him.
like
And is probably, being well compensated.
they have alleged that she was the woman he was texting that caused this fight with the woman. They've alleged that they have video that shows he didn't do it. They allege that the taxi driver also saw something. Now, to me, I don't care. I don't want to hear what anyone says or whatever. I want you to show me video evidence, because you're not going to tell whatever someone says means diddly squat in cases like this, because you could pay someone to say whatever you want to say.
Sorry. This just was on my mind. Why didn't he get an Uber for the kids? For him and the kids? Instead of trying to get a fucking taxi? From the show, And So It Goes. And there it is. What is it called?
And just like that?
Yes, and just like that.
Yes.
Why did he get an Uber? He's over there trying to hail a taxi in New York as a black man.
We just watched it just like that. Maybe that's because they were trying to make a point. They were trying to make a point.
You're telling me they're very wealthy. You're telling me he can't afford a fucking Uber X?
He could have, but he wanted to be real quick. Sometimes when you're up there on Upper West Side, you can real quick put your hand out and get a cab.
That show frustrates me, and it's frustrating that we watch it together. Sorry, but Megan Good.
Yes.
And Jonathan Major.
People have been really curious as to why Megan Good is with him, but Fat Joe commented that she stood by her man.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot to have to deal with in the very first stages of a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, red flags aside, the first few weeks, months should be relatively easy.
Yeah.
Like, they should be relatively drama-free.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, like, in the very first few weeks of them dating, now she has to accompany this man to court.
Well, Fat Joe says,
the dick must be really good.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, they've only been dating a little while, and so the pastor prepped her to be a good woman. First of all, I think that sounds gross to say that someone prepped another person or trained another person. Not to say that sometimes women may not be... Excuse me, I think it sounds gross to hear a man say that someone prepped a woman. Mm-hmm. Because there are plenty of women who have trained men to be normal human beings, and then they leave them and go to another woman, and then they're like actually behaving like a person. Mm-hmm. So you hear that a lot. But whenever you hear a man say someone was prepped or a woman was trained into something, it always has this like nefarious, like you broke her into being the type of woman that she should be, and that should be putting up with all of your shit regardless of how ridiculous it makes her look. But I think that this is, even if you like someone, you care about them, like, I don't think that if someone is having this type of case and at this point, it is too early for you to be standing by your man. Like, I'll see you when the trial's finished, and talk to you later. Because she's the one that's going to be being sacrificed. What's the end game?
What is the end game? That's my question, as far as the MCU is concerned. No, I saw this is fucked up, like, so many fucking plans.
But I saw something when I was looking
back
him up,
movies, like,
that he's going to be in an upcoming Marvel project.
Well, they already filmed. He was supposed to be in the end credits of Guardians of the Galaxy, and they removed that.
Wow.
He is gonna be in the season 2 of Loki, and you notice how they're not promoting that heavily. They've been promoting this goddamn secret war, not secret
invasion.
War,
Secret Invasion.
Is it Secret Invasion?
Yeah.
With
You want to
Samuel
bet?
Jackson?
You want to bet?
It's called Secret Invasion.
You want to bet? Do you want to bet?
It's called Marvel's Secret Invasion.
Do you want to bet? It's Secret Invasion.
I am broke and unemployed. How can I even... You're a monster for even wanting to bet.
It doesn't have to be a monetary.
What would it
I don't know, but if you say you want to bet and I'm right, then whatever I'm asking for is what I'll get. That doesn't have anything to do with money.
No, because I have a bad memory, and I'm going to be furious if it is called Secret Invasion. Because I know it is about an invasion, but I don't know if it's called Secret Invasion.
All right, I
think it's called Secret something.
I won't charge you if you look this up. You can look it up.
I feel like it's called Secret Wars.
I'm gonna look it up.
No, I'll look it up. You keep talking. We both can't.
Well, it came up before
Fine.
I even Secret Invasion.
Fuck off. Fuck yourself.
I told you I don't bet unless I know I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I throw you a bone when I'm just kind of curious.
I don't need your bones. I'm not a dog.
All right, so talking about bones. There is a man in Atlanta.
Let's see how this segue works.
That who was an ex-Navy vet who spent about $80,000 to go from 5'5" to 6 feet. His name is Denzel Sigers. He's 27 years old.
Denzel Sigers.
And he said it set him back about $81,000.
Jesus. Give me that money.
And apparently he did this after a girl he had a crush on said he was too short. He said, in my teens, I was once rejected by a girl I had a huge crush on, and although she found me attractive, her reasoning was that I was too short and too young for her. So are you going to try to age yourself up too? So one of these, you only did one. She said two things that were bad.
I mean, unless you are apparently a little person and a ward of the state, like, you can't age yourself up. As I found out recently from a very disturbing documentary that was put on my TV against my will.
The Jared Fogle documentary was freaking horrible. But at
least it was fucking, like...
It was interesting. Yeah, it was horrible.
The other one was just kind of fucked up all around. Like, we gotta watch this grown man crying and yelling and wailing.
Oh, about the...
She was manipulating everybody!
The Natalia...
And it hurts me that my son pissed on this little girl's stuff.
The Natalia Grace story. Oh my God, that father was so fake.
Yeah.
Not to say that he wasn't going through this stuff, but he was really
he dialed that up to.
But
11.
he said which one. He kept saying he had a flair for theater, so I know that whatever he was doing, he knew that he was just adding a little extra on, like a true person of the theater.
I think he was in the closet.
Oh, for sure. I think there was something there. I think he's a part of the community.
Yeah, I think
in
he's
whatever
a part
way,
of the community in some way, shape, or
form. And he just couldn't let it out, and he was being, unfortunately, let him tell it, abused by his wife, which I'm not surprised by. And that this whole Natalia Grace story was exacerbated, even though it was also. There was too many sides. Mm-hmm. There was too many truths, and there was too many lies. And honestly, there's nobody in the story that is not a villain.
Yeah, there's no one who's sympathetic, quite frankly.
Everybody has something going on.
The child who might be an adult, actually, she's mentally unstable. The mom is fucked up. The dad was a feckless, fucking ineffectual parent.
The poor child who
was fucked up.
Now regressing in life, his words. It's just a very sad story. And unfortunately, the father is still out here. Just from the beginning, I feel like the father, or before even Natalia Grace came, that he and the mom were just seeking fame through their children. Mm-hmm. And they have gotten it, because the little boy who was autistic, the young one that was talking, he was being, pitched all around the country of look at how smart he is, et cetera, et cetera. And so I feel like this was another chance for them to try and profit off a child, and it just didn't turn out the way they wanted. And also perhaps there was some duplicity, shenanigans on that side, because Natalia Grace's mother did say 17 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, which one? I don't know who to believe at this point.
Yeah.
But it was terrible and shameful. But is it shameful to break your legs, put some bars in it just to get taller? That is your life. But I do wonder what you're going to do when you're older that's going to cause really bad.
Yeah, because I often think about all the video vixens who got their, ass fucking plants, and the, porn stars from back in the day who got implants in their bodies, and, it's cellulite. It's
one
medical juices being pumped into your bodies. That doesn't age well. You know what I mean? It's not organic.
I asked my cousin, who's a surgeon, a long time ago about what happens when you get those type of surgeries, and he was like, it's best to do them when you're younger, because you're still your body is still growing, so you heal better. But I did ask him recently, because I had seen another story about this, and he said it's a safer surgery now, so perhaps the risks of later having really bad arthritis or whatever, or your bones grinding together is probably less. But that does seem
But it's still in your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't, the cells aren't aging the same way that the rest of your body's cells are, So, in that regard, who knows what time is doing to those artificial enhancements that are now.
I mean, if it's titanium, you would say it's going to be. Usually titanium is something that could stand, for your lifetime. But I just wonder, how is your body going to adapt? Because I remember when I worked at this law firm where they dealt with, one of the things was asbestos and the other one was knee and hip replacements. Mm-hmm. And there were so many stories I would get about people who got these replacements. And even though these are, the highest ranked replacements in the country or whatever, this is what all these doctors are using, really good doctors, but they were having such negative impacts because there's no way that you could test every single body to a way that it's going to make anything be custom fitted for themselves, or the materials are not going to have an adverse impact on their body. So it's just, It's very interesting, and it's like your height shouldn't matter. And I'm not gonna say that when I was younger that I didn't have this idea of like certain ideologies about height, because I think everyone does.
Short, and you were short, and your family's relatively tall.
Well,
your
no,
sisters are tall. Your mom's tall.
but I'm talking more so about for guys, because as a like dating wise, I think like as a girl, there's always like being short is actually better than being tall, because there's all these height stereotypes, like guys who are taller are gonna go for shorter girls, and like tall girls are gonna be left out, like and it's like guys want girls who are shorter because they're gonna be like dainty and small or whatever. And
I like standing on my tippy toes.
I like
going up there for a kiss.
I like standing
nice
on my
glamazon.
tippy toes. So, but I think there are a lot of men who, in American society, see that as like a negative, whereas in other cultures, having this tall, statuesque woman is like something to be admired.
Yeah. Statuesque.
Yeah, like a tall, like a.
Sorry,
you know.
I was thinking about Tu Wong Fu. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, we watched that. Happy Pride. So
Happy Pride.
I'm curious. I hope that listen. I hope that he does well.
It's darker than what I remember it.
Really?
Yeah, because like I think the last time I watched it was as a kid, and then I think we watched it once, but I fell asleep. But like, cause my mom loved that movie. My mom loved Tu Wong Fu, and she loved to watch it with me. I don't remember there being a domestic violence
really
subplot. I don't remember that. I don't remember, like, the fear of violence to drag queens being, like, so played up in the movie.
The like, sexual assault. They covered so many things in that movie. That's why they covered racism, sexism, like, phobias, all the things.
They covered a lot of ground in such a relatively short amount of time. Like hell, they you know, they had this one scene that had me on edge, where Bobby Ray, Bobby Ray was asking somebody out to go to the strawberry picnic or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
And he's like, Bobby Lee, who is the girl who is crushing on him. He's like, go inside, take the kids, because I need to ask Chi-Chi something. And I didn't realize, so he knows.
No.
He didn't know at first. But by the end of the movie, he knew that Chi-Chi was a drag queen, right?
Yes, at the end he did know. Yeah.
Okay, but by that time he was with Bobby Lee.
Yes.
Okay. I still want to know what the age gap is between Bobby Lee and Chi-Chi and Bobby Ray.
I think that Bobby Ray was 16.
Bobby Lee looks so young.
I think Bobby Lee...
a young fucking... She looked like Riley from Inside Out.
Oh, she did. I think that Bobby Lee was probably supposed to be like 15, 16. He was probably supposed to be 17, 18. And Chi-Chi was supposed to be like 21. That's what I'm thinking. Because she's still supposed to be pretty young.
Keep a secret.
I think she just wanted to be loved.
I know she wanted to be loved.
She didn't realize until someone told why this was, something you shouldn't do. But speaking of something you should not do.
Yes.
Have you all been learning, listening, reading about this Titanic submersible called the Titan that has, unfortunately...
This is how I know that humans are too stupid for this world. We never learn. You would think anything to do with Titanic. You would think in the real world, you would think people would just leave it alone. It's a fucking curse. It's humans' hubris. It's people thinking that they can, buck fate.
So the thing it says that these were the 5 people on the 20-foot watercraft, which was operated by Ocean Gate Expeditions. It was the British billionaire Hamish Harding, who's 58, a French diver and Titanic expert Henry Nerglow, 77, Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, and his son Suleiman Dawood. Those are the only 2 people I feel bad about. And an unidentified pilot and space tourist. Now, I want to say, these people paid...
Is there a space tourist going into the sea?
These people paid $250,000 for this. And it just really is, honestly, it is both sad and also infuriating to me that this happened. And not because I'm like, oh my God, I'm infuriated that people lost their lives. I'm infuriated that they died in such a stupid way. Because nothing about this, I'm mad that this person was allowed to take a tin can into the sea. And they were at first we were gripped by it because they were talking about these people only have 40 hours left of air, and we don't know what's going on, and we don't know if we're going to find them. And then at the end of the last day or so, they're like, oh, well, they actually probably imploded a few hours after entry because this secret U.S. Navy thing in the ocean heard an explosion. And every time I've watched a interview with the businessman who I think it was the British guy who owned it, Hamish Harding or whatever, every time I see or hear him talking about this vessel, he's talking about how it's been made by scraps, how safety's not important, how he doesn't care. He bought the fucking thing to control the vessel. It was a Logitech controller. I don't even want to buy a Logitech mouse for my computer.
Yeah, Logitech. Oh, maybe they're hiring. Logitech.
But the thing is about it is he kept talking about how every single part of the ship was basically this DIY ship, and then he fucking Scrooged these people into buying it, and this father and son who went on their freaking for a Father's Day present, and then the aunt of the boy was talking about how the son didn't even want to go because he just went because it was a Father's Day present. He just was like, he's not gonna go with his gut. That fucking is terrible, and I don't know why we keep letting these wealthy people just do whatever they want, and they're costing lives. And the amount of time of money they spent looking for those people. There was a ship carrying 500 plus people in the Mediterranean Sea that just of migrants who were trying to escape whatever their fates were, went down. They've been finding them bit by bit by bit. But there's the amount of money they spent on looking for these billionaires compared to the amount of time and like news of it. And the way the way that they're talking about them, like they talk about the submarine, which is like not to say they shouldn't, but they should be talking about both of them with the same amount of importance and the same amount of dignity and the same amount of coverage, so that we could find both of them, because all of their lives, regardless if they're billionaires or if they're poor and fleeing country or whatever, they're both important. But we have been sitting here waiting to hear about whether these people freaking either suffocated to death or exploded. And this is just stupid. Imploded, thank you. But this was dumb. When you look at James Cameron's, like, divers.
Yeah.
And then you look at this guy.
James Cameron can afford a submersible that.
And he's been down there, like, 20 plus times at this point.
He has a license. Like, he has a whole fucking thing where he can go down into the middle of the sea and do exploration and research in order to give us another fucking mediocre Avatar movie.
But it's just like, he's been shading them also. It's been very funny to watch. Because him basically being like, we went, I knew that was, like, basically, I knew that shit was not going to work. And I figured it imploded right after because one moment I saw it. Because he's like, yeah, you can't just go down there in whatever you fucking want and expect to survive. Even though they said they allegedly did it how many times, that shit was probably weak as hell. But that's how many times you got. And you put these people on a death trap. Like, it's just shenanigans. Shenanigans that should have never been allowed to happen. But also more shenanigans. A 17-year-old named Hafsa Abdur Rahman, who was graduating from the Philadelphia High School for Girls, was denied her diploma because she danced a little bit before walking across the stage. And I watched the video, and all she did was a little, she kept it sturdy a little bit, and then she walked off. Like, it wasn't like anything serious, or she wasn't like stopping the proceedings of the graduation. But kids have been like doing this, and they've been trying to stop these black kids from being at their graduations and dancing, having police at different graduations, having like telling them they're not gonna get their graduation certificates. And it's like, stop bullying these kids on what is an exciting time for them. Who cares what they want to do? If they want to dance at freaking stage, let them dance. Like, this is a joyous time.
It's not even a good dance.
But like, who cares? If I got my master's right now, I don't know what the fuck I would do across that stage, but I would fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited.
I would probably do. Look, if I had my master's and I walked across stage, knowing the amount of loans that I have to pay, I'd probably do the jerk off. And I throw it at the audience.
Well, speaking of someone who's being a jerk off, Russell Simmons has been having a social media battle in the last few weeks because basically his daughters Ming Lee and Aoki Lee posted a Father's Day message to their mom, Kimora Lee Simmons. And they didn't really say anything, but them, of course, not putting their father would obviously mean something. And so apparently he called them and was harassing them, and it was so bad that Kimora, she did a live and was like, he does this every day or whatever. I need you. I'm coming public with this because it needs to stop. So she's talking about like the way that he's been mistreating the girls, how he's removed financial support from them. She even made mention to, she didn't say it exactly, but like how she's been with him since she was so young, because she was only in 10th grade when she got with him, and he was in his 30s at that point. And did you remember? Did you watch the documentary about him? I think it's called like In Too Deep or something. It's on HBO.
Yeah, no, I remember. Did we watch it?
We watched it together, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a really good documentary, but it was very sad.
Because they weren't promoting it. Like, they just sort of dropped it on there.
And, like, you could see, like, I remember when he had so many allegations against him. And no one was really talking about it because he is this, like, I do yoga. I'm, like, you should respect yourself.
I'm sorry. Scroll up again. There is a photo of Russell Simmons with the shiniest head. Scroll down. Look at how shiny his head is.
His head does look very shiny.
It reflects. But no. This is okay. So as far as Russell Simmons is concerned, like, he's been abroad avoiding charges, doing the Roman Polanski. He's pulling a Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
He's in fucking Brazil or somewhere where
Bali or something.
Bali, where there's no extradition or whatever it's called. And like, he's bothering his daughters for what reason? Like,
because narcissistic people and abusers and all that are like people who don't want to be accountable, are always going to make it about them. He did post an apology that said, God is testing you a little bit. It's okay. Be strong. They are called growing pains. As you know, we grow through adversity and struggle. You read my books and you heard me preach your whole childhood. You read my books and heard me preach your whole childhood. Reach back to old lessons and remember to smile and breathe. Smile and breathe. You are the watchers of this world, so let go. Be at ease. God is driving, and He is working on you.
I hate when
Deeply sorry for being frustrated and yelling, but know this, there are no conditions. For sure, I love you guys more than I love myself.
First off, I hate when people invoke God in their apologies.
Don't tell me God is working on me when you're the one who's screaming and yelling.
Give me the name of the therapist that's working on you. Like, that's what I want to know. I want to know the name of the therapist.
The apology is still very much you've done something wrong and we've done something wrong together. And so we need to be working on ourselves because look at what you did and look what I did. And that, don't put that on your children. That is not your battles are not your children's fault. And any response your children have to the disrespect or the rudeness or the abuse that you may be putting on them is not their burden to bear. That is for your misstep as a parent and you needing to get over that.
Yeah.
But
oh, brother,
don't put that on them. It's that I feel like this is just a very I refuse to take accountability for my behaviors. Exactly why your daughter and your ex-wife are airing you out and talking about how the daughter, I think it was Aoka, or Aoki, she said how she's told him it's been late at night, she's walking home, maybe in New York or something, and she needed an Uber, and he'd be like, oh, well, figure it out, be good. And it's like, to text your father that, and them just be like, whatever, fuck you. That's stressful. And just that he had people coming to her house or showing up at people's house. It's just a very toxic scenario and very sad. And it's unfortunate that it came out on Father's Day.
Yeah, well, or maybe it's a sign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then, because we're about to get shut off of Instagram. And we will be back to talk about our mental health, what made us happy this week, and what pissed us off.
Yeah, so we'll be back with more.
You're listening to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Are you going to press the other little button?
What other little button?
That introduces the mental health section.
Fine. Give me a second.
I mean, I don't know. You were always talking about consistency, so I just wanted to make sure I was being consistent.
Okay, great. No worries. I don't get to sing.
No, sing!
No.
Why didn't you know? First of all, no, we aren't. Do you have a song to sing?
Mental health section?
No. I'm sorry. What song? What song were you gonna sing?
For those who are listening for the first time, we have a mental health section. We're checking with each other in our mental health.
Why didn't you remind me of that?
How's your mental
No,
health?
why didn't you remind? This is a good mental health question.
Odie, we've done this 88 times or 81 times.
But you know what my memory is like.
Not including the bonus episodes. But
you know that sometimes I might forget something.
We've been doing this for 2 years.
But you know that I have my
maybe 3.
You know that my memory is not always that great, and that sometimes you have to remind me.
Of the two of us, my memory is the one that's not great.
Both of us
You're the
have
one who can remember shit.
Both of us have a different amount of memory for different things.
No, well, first off, never mind. I have a terrible memory, but I have found a way to remember how the segments break down. We've been doing this 81 times at this point over the course of 2 to 3 years.
That's not something that my brain is going to...
We built a habit out of this shit.
Yeah, but you don't think that my brain can sometimes forget my habits?
You and blaming your brain, I blame you.
Okay, well, me and my brain are simultaneous into one another.
No, because you blame your brain as if it is a existential existence from yourself.
No, I do not. I'm just saying that there are some things...
How's your mental health going? How's your mental health?
My mental health is
How
going
is your mental health?
that I wish that people would be understanding of the fact that my brain might work differently and sometimes will forget things that are important regardless of whether or not I've been
Kettle
doing
talking
them
to a kettle. I wish my brain would work differently
10,000 times a day, and I could still sometimes forget the routine things that I do, not because I am desiring and forgetting them, but because of the fact that that's sometimes what happens. And so that's why people should just remind me of the thing, because I might be jumping the gun, not because I am wanting to, but just because I forgot the thing, especially when I haven't done the thing in several weeks. I can be quite a bit foggy.
So is that your mental health section that you want to go with?
And also, I had been having a pretty good mental health weeks or so.
Tell me about it.
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
I've just been having a time where I'm having the least amount of anxiety outside of annoying occurrences, but I've been able to work through them through my usual acts of processing, through talking about it and fleshing things out. And so I'm constantly working on those things. Work has been okay to get back into. Constantly working on that.
Louder.
I had a good week at work where something I'd been planning for a while went off, and it did very well.
Good.
So I would say, in general, things have been pretty good for my mental health. I'm just constantly working on juggling all the things that I'm supposed to be remembering and doing. Because I still am not medicated, so sometimes things might feel like they're falling through. And I'm always trying to make sure that I'm catching those different balls I've got juggling. So.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No.
All right. I'm unemployed and depressed. There we go. That's everything from me.
Okay, would you like to sing now?
No. That moment has passed.
You're just being stubborn.
I'm not being stubborn.
You are being stubborn.
I'm not
You
being
are.
That
You're
moment
being
has
stubborn.
passed.
You're being stubborn because you're trying to prove a point.
On.
You're trying to prove a point to me.
I'm not proving no point.
You are. You're trying to prove a point. But it's okay.
Am going with the flow of the episode, and the episode's flow dictates that no song is sung at the beginning from us coming back from break. We jump right into the mental health section, and then we move on to the next section. So I'm just moving on from that. And you've talked about how your mental health is. I've talked about how my mental health is.
You're
now it is
talking
time
like a
for
traveling
us
shoe
to talk
salesman
about what is pissing us off and what is grinding our gears.
Well.
And then after this, we will talk about the things that will make us happy.
Well, what's grinding your gears? Do you want to press You want to press the button?
Bring it. What? We grind it. We're not grinding anywhere else. We grind it. This is a place for us to share. We grind it. We ain't grinding anywhere else. We grind it.
Can we adhere to some form of protocol? I know we haven't done a podcast in quite some time, but could we do the things that we have now done 81 times for 2 to 3 years? Can we do that? Is that a possibility for us? Is that possible? Is it probable? Is it something that can be done?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is pissing you off?
I went first the last time.
I am so sick of being unemployed. It is. The rejections have gotten to me. I have applied to so many companies and so many jobs that I have now exhausted my searches and have now started looking for places where a definite pay cut is happening. I have been told that my resume is really great. I've been told that I have an excellent resume, that I have a lot of great work experience, that I'm affable, and that any company would be lucky to have me. So now I am pissed and annoyed that it has taken this long for someone out there to recognize that I would be a valuable asset to their entity. And I hate that it's taken this long. It's also taken this long for me to process what happened with my last employer. I thought that if I had moved on and got back into a new thing, then I could just sweep it all under the rug. The problem is there isn't a new thing. The problem is that there isn't a new opportunity. And I'm recognizing that my last employer set me up to fail. My last employer fucked me hard. They fucked me. They fucked my department. They left us in the lurch. Whether it was by design or by some, realization further down the line, they fucked a bunch of good people over. And they fucked me. They fucked me coming and going. They did not give me the tools I needed to do the job well enough to translate that into a similar lateral or upward movement. They did not do that. They put me in a position where I was essentially a Band-Aid until they could bring in people to solve the larger problem that they were looking to fix. I got used. And it's not the greatest feeling in the world. And now I am stuck in a situation where I am simultaneously over and underqualified for the positions that I am looking at. I am being told that no one is interested in taking a chance on me. I smile and I code switch and I ask for what I deserve, and I ask for what I negotiate with, and I ask for below what I deserve, and I get the same answer over and over again. I don't just want a job. Because if I wanted just a job, I would work somewhere that would pay me severely less. And then I wouldn't be able to afford to live here in New York. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a position that I don't want to be, and I don't know what to do. I am utilizing all the resources that I have, but now I'm in a nightmare where the outcome does not look good for me. I have been here before, but not in my 30s. It's easier to do it in your 20s because there's hope and optimism and something just around the bend, and you don't have property, and you don't have bills, and you don't have debt, and you don't have people asking, what are you gonna do? Like, there's so much at stake. And all I can do is do what I can. I turn the charm on for the interviews. I give the right answers. I shave my beard. I shave my face. I shave my head. I put on the right clothes. I put on the right cologne. I'm charming. I don't stammer or stutter. I give everything to these fucking interviews, and I get nothing back. I've been rejected by so many companies, and I'm not sure which is worse, getting rejected flat out or being told, hey, can you do a video answer of all of these questions? Or, hey, can you take this assessment test? Or, hey, come in for this interview. Hey, come in for this second interview. Just to get nothing back in return. It is weighing on me. It is broken me. It hasn't broken me to stop. It has broken me to hope that I could at least live. I've made concessions. And I'm making concessions. Like, I've gone down from what I thought I was supposed to be making to what would be a lateral move so that I could still pay for all my stuff, to now where it's like something. And even that's not going well. And I hate it. But I swallow it. And I am swallowing it. And it fucking sucks. I just want to work. I want to work. I want to be able to go to sleep at a reasonable time, wake up in the morning, go to a place, fulfill a purpose, do that thing, come back, enjoy. I want to be a normal person, because right now I feel like a deadbeat. I feel like a loser. I feel awful. I know these are not the things that I am, but this is how I feel. And I can't help it. Because as day in, day out, check emails, get rejections, apply away for several hours just to then get the same old, unfortunately, we have gone with another client, or unfortunately, we're not moving forward with your resume. You can only see and read that email so many times before it starts to weigh on you and before it starts to make you question yourself. Make you question, what was it all for? What was 6 years at this company, rising through the ranks, meeting all the people, networking, doing all this shit? What was it for? What was the point? If you were just going to get thrown out on your ass in the cold, what was the point? And I don't know what the point was. I've long since lost track of this rant. I don't remember if we were in the mental health section or the things that made us angry.
Things that made us angry.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I just know that I'm not in the greatest of spaces and I'm not in the greatest of places. And it is because trying to find a new job has worn me down to a nub. And my only solace is that this is just a moment in time. But goddamn, how long will this moment last?
Yeah.
How long will this moment last? Because it started in April. We're at the end of June. So that's what has pissed me off this week. You are free to go.
Well, I think that all your feelings that you're having right now are valid. And my therapist, I remember a few months ago, or maybe last year or something, when I was starting my new job, we were talking about the grieving process for my last job, because it was, a surprising exit, similar to yours, and how when you're going through all the emotions and the grief of losing that job, it's like the same as like ending a relationship, and how you could just be so angry and upset, and you have to really grieve that in a way that in any way you can, so that you can get past it, and at the next job, have been healed or whatever, so you're not breaking all that with you. But I mean, like, you were in a really long-term relationship with this job, with these people, and your personality is such like a loyal person that being kind of fucked over by someone is going to be like an extra kablammy to you. And so it makes sense that you're so angry and frustrated, and this is just like a very frustrating time. Applying to jobs fucking sucks. It's like a second job. You're doing all this work, there's no return, and until you get another opportunity, it's constantly fucking daggering at you. And if you weren't someone who was a super hard worker and always ready to like get up and go and do something, this might be easier, but you're not. And so I'm constantly hoping that you are going to find something, because you deserve to find a job that is going to be fulfilling you, both mentally, spiritually, financially, most importantly, and like all of the ways that you're creative and dope. So I'm sorry that you've been having such a difficult time, because it sucks.
It is okay. What can you do?
All right, stuff that has been pissing me off. One, these are two things I saw on the news, because I haven't had too many things that have been pissing me off too much lately. In personal life, but I saw these things going viral. One, this black couple in Ohio, in Toledo, Ohio, said they were racially profiled while they were shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond. And I watched the video, and basically, I saw like the end of the video where they said that basically the woman or the couple, they had all these high ticket items in their cart, and someone from the store decided to call the police, and the husband was questioning one of the workers to be like, what happened? Like, who called the police on us? And it was this whole thing. And it's just like, I feel like being black in America is extremely frustrating, because why should you be worried about going shopping on, like, and just being like, you know what, I'm gonna do something, but you can't, because someone is threatening you with being arrested just because you happen to have a lot of stuff in your cart. So their names, the couple's names are Lamar Richards, and they didn't get their partner's name. But they said they recently purchased a home, and because obviously they just got a home, they needed to buy some more stuff. And so they were shopping, and they ended up spending about $600. And they said that on the way out of the store, a police officer approached them because he wanted to get the receipt and make sure they had paid for everything, because an employee had called the cops and said they were shoplifting. Now, I don't know about you. Oh, okay, it's a gay couple. Happy Pride. So this person and their partner, or okay, his boyfriend, are shopping for a new home. Now, I don't know about you, but if you go shopping for a new home, like, I don't see how it's possible for you to spend like under $500 if you're going to a place like Bed Bath & Beyond. Because even if you are just shopping for your dorm, if you wanted a comforter, some sheets, some pillows, you know, a few little knick-knack things here and there, you're gonna spend about $600. Like, that's just the way it is. And the fact that someone would be coming at them in the store just because they are happening to spend more money than they thought that black people should be able to spend is ridiculous. And, like, why are you clocking what's in my cart? Sir, madam, person, what is the reason? And even if I had big purchases, like, we are at a store, why, like, if I couldn't pay, how would I be shoplifting if I'm going through the freaking cashier? And they, of course, they tweeted out, I have never felt so humiliated in my life. I sat in the car for more than an hour after this happened, praying, asking God to give me peace and calm my anxiety. So that was just a ridiculous situation. Never should have happened. Let black people shop in peace. And if you think we can't buy it, that's not your personal business. You are not a co-owner of Bed Bath & Beyond. And you can't tell what they're shoplifting or not. If they were, the cashiers would have caught them or not, and they would have gone about their business. Like, leave people alone. The second thing that was pissing me off this week is a story out of Chicago, I believe. Yep, Chicago, where Carlisha Hood and her 14-year-old son were at this restaurant called Far Southside Restaurant when she got into an argument with Jeremy Brown while they were waiting in line for their food. So apparently the man, Jeremy, punched her, and her son took a gun out and shot him in the back and then continued to fire at him. So they have arrested her mother, arrested the mother, and arrested the son. And they are now, of course, going to be going through all of the trials, et cetera, et cetera. I saw the story trending. I watched a video of what allegedly happened. And you could see, like, they're in the line. The woman and the man are arguing. All these other men are around there. And other people are around, standing around. He punches her. And none of these men or no people around there did anything to, like, protect this woman, to stop this man from hitting her, etc. And then she, whatever, tells her son to shoot the man. But it's just like, I hate the fact that we cannot what is the word? We cannot count on the men in our community standing up to other men when they act like they act like this in public and then cause these chain reactions that lead into someone's death. You look like you have something to say. You don't have anything to say about this story?
No, I'm processing it. Like, I came back from the thing, and I'm listening.
Okay.
Am I an example of men who aren't stepping up to say anything bad about the first? It's fucked up. Like,
no, you just was
the surrounding men in the audience who did not fight back or restrain this man when he punched this woman. It's intolerable. I could say that, right?
But also, the mother shouldn't have told the son to get the gun.
Yes.
We could say that these two things are true.
Yes.
That he shouldn't have had to be put in the position to protect his mother, because those grown men should have stood in and said, no, we're not going to allow this. And also, that mother should not have told her child to protect her. This is not the Wild Wild West. But unfortunately, if you are living in a survival mode, sometimes these are type of things that happen. And there are many stories we know about women and their sons and using them as the protector mode as they get older. And
yes,
that's a whole other conversation.
It is literally the fourth season of The Wire.
But it's sad that all the community was failed in all instances. When this man thought it was okay to punch a woman, when none of the men in that restaurant thought it was okay or imperative to restrain and or protect that woman, when that woman thought it was okay for her to ask her son to protect her with a gun instead of telling her, if anything, if you won't shoot the man for punching you, go right ahead, but at least do it yourself. If you're gonna be exclaiming self-defense, like, don't put that on your son.
Yeah, because now that son is traumatized.
Because not only did you saying I'm gonna protect myself and this man punched me and I'm gonna kill him for it, I can't tell you what to do with your life. That's your business. But you do it. It still wouldn't be like acceptable to be doing this in front of your child anyway, because they're gonna be traumatized by seeing someone shot, and we don't need that. But at the end of the day, that's you. Only your life is the one being, you're the only one would have had to go to jail in that moment, instead of your 14-year-old son possibly having to go to jail because you told him to shoot somebody for you. This is not a situation where you're like, handle my light work. You know, that's not, like, you don't pick your child to do that for you. You pick, maybe if it was their partner or something, but, like, your child, your son, regardless of his age, is not your husband, and like shouldn't be forced to be going to jail for you. So it's just it's a terrible thing on all sides. It's very frustrating and sad, and none of it should have happened.
Agreed.
Outside of that, I think everything else is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can move on to our RIP section.
Yes. Yes, we can. We will move on to our RIP section that I have right here.
Causes sensitive.
And so,
And I'm not getting YouTube red. All right?
you say that every time.
Because I'm not gonna. It's just not gonna happen. I don't know what that was, but
If it's something like Attack the Block, we don't even got anything to help us.
you don't got. I got this.
Okay.
I got a fucking tripod.
Well, let's be serious now.
Well, I have a bottle that I can. You have nothing.
We are being serious now.
Yes,
Because
we are
the
being serious.
time for the RIPs.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, so this Juneteenth weekend, TikTok star Brittany Murphy and her mother Sherry Smith were headed to a Juneteenth celebration when their car was when a truck hit their car. This is very sad. I had seen their TikTok videos, just in passing, but they were always like cute and funny. They had more than her sister had more than 400,000 followers on TikTok. And they would just be, cute videos. If you want to look at her page, it was That Girl Brittany Joy. And it would just be like a skit about her changing into her work clothes, getting comfy at home. Just very relatable, regular content. But it's definitely very sad that she and her mother have been gone at the same time. I mean, my family recently had a car accident where, 3 members of a family were together and only one person survived. And it's just like, it's always a horrific thing. It's out of nowhere. No one feels prepared for that. So, of course, sending them lots of love. And hopefully they figure out what happened that even got them to this place. All right. We are ready to go into our favorite segment.
Yes.
I'm the baby merchant. Tops are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
Who's going first?
I'm happy that I was able to see my friend Danny this week.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Over the course of Juneteenth weekend, I had fun with Danny and Keith. We went to the beach. And then Danny wasn't there, but you came back. We went to the Juneteenth celebration at Fort Greene and other places. What made me happy this week was keeping in touch with friends. Keeping in touch with people, being in contact, not being by myself. That has been helpful, and I'm grateful for that. So, that's where I am. What about you? what has been making you happy this time period?
Well, seeing Beyonce made me very happy. Going to the park. Going to see.
That's right. We went to the park to see music happen.
Yeah. But we also went to the park for my birthday, which was fun, and saw the new Spider-Man, which was fun.
Oh my God, the new Spider-Man is really good. Across the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
is so fucking good. It is. I mean, it is the oh my God. My nerd card is about to be revoked. What's the middle Star Wars? It's A New Hope, Return of the Jedi. Oh, Empire Strikes Back. Here we go. It's the Empire Strikes Back of Spider-Man, basically. Like,
It was really good.
it was really good.
Yeah, like going out for different celebrations. One of my besties took me to the Bridgerton experience, which was really fun. And we went to Stonewall for Pride, which was cool. We went to the Brick, had a concert with BJ, the Chicago Kid, and Robert Glasper and Bilal. That was really fun. And just like spending some time outside the house. And, eating good food, seeing good people, just enjoying Brooklyn. So, and this story was one story that I found that was good news. Dr. Stephen Williams is making history as the first black president of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. I think that's great, and hopefully, there's a lot of black people that get to plastic surgery. And I think that it would be great to have a doctor who can create more natural looks for black people, so they don't feel like they have to have such like Eurocentric features out of their plastic surgery, and also be able to like, in plastic surgery, it does not mean like necessarily always something for cosmetic issues of like just for fun. Some of these things are because you've had a horrible accident, you've been burned, XYZ, and having a black head of plastic surgery will hopefully create spaces where you're having better prosthesis. Ooh, did I say that right? Prosthesis for black people, because it was only recently where it was this doctor whose last name is eBay. I can't remember what his first name is now. But he was drawing pictures of like what certain medical conditions look like on black people, and we don't have that enough. So I think this is great. Congratulations, Dr. Williams. We look forward to seeing all the great things you do in the world of plastic surgery.
Agreed.
So that's it.
All right. If that's everything, that's everything. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for joining us on Instagram Live. We will be back Wednesday for Watch Out Now, and we'll be back next week for another episode of the podcast proper. Until then, take it easy, keep it sleazy. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD, THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.